Senator Gutierrez, since you already have your mic on, you can be first. We have a few people who want to speak.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will be brief. I know that it's late on a Thursday, and we've had a long, hard week. Members, I am not for this bill because this bill ultimately hurts rural Texans. I'm not for this bill because it only helps a very, very small handful of kids. I'm not for this bill because the vast majority of the kids that it will help are already in private schools. And we got that from the colloquy and the exchange between Senator Creighton and I when this bill left to the other side. But I do want to talk specifically, members, about something that should be important to each and every one of you, regardless of party. And it's about values. 2 years ago, four times this body had a chance to vote on an amendment that called out a conflict of interest, that said that nobody in this building would benefit or in any way take part in this program. And four times, Democrats and Republicans voted that amendment out, and four times it went to the House of Representatives. Fast forward 2 years, Senator Creighton, that amendment was no longer called the Gutierrez Amendment because Senator Creighton thought best of it, and he said, well, this is a good idea. And thank you for that, Senator Creighton. It became our amendment at that point. That phrase, that clause in that bill became ours from the Texas Senate. It became part of our values. Our value statement that said to him that there will be no self-dealing, that there will not be any parent over there that applies for one of these things, or over here for that matter. In the dark of night, committee substitute, that amendment was stripped out. You don't need to get into who stripped it out or why, but it was stripped out. House Democrats tried to put that amendment back in, to no avail. And so I urge you here today, as we move forward with this vote, and I ask you not to concur on this issue, on this one issue alone. So for some of you newer members, the next process is simple. If you chose not to concur, it goes into a conference committee made up of 4 or 5 members from here and 5 members from over there. And essentially, the two heads of those two bodies, the House and the Senate, in that conference committee, I would imagine be Senator Creighton and Representative Buckley, would come together and they would say, this amendment doesn't jive. This thing that you took out is not what we senators asked for. We asked for a bill that wasn't about self-dealing. We asked for a bill that wasn't about helping our children. We asked for a bill that didn't have the stain of that possible corruption. And yes, it would be corruption. And it would be corruption in this sense. When we passed those 4 amendments some 2 years ago, somebody brought up on the House floor, they said, well, what? It's just the same as every kid going over to college. But I remind you that every kid in high school has a chance to go to college in Texas. And if you're in the top 6%, well, then you get into the top schools. It's not a lottery. It's a merit-based system. So it's a wrong metaphor. Where we are today and who we are as leaders of this state, we only have our word, our integrity, and our value set. The people over there made a decision. I tell my daughters every day, honey, life is about decisions. It's about turning right. It's about turning left or going straight. Every day we make decisions. I believe in my heart that we made the right decision by putting that language on this bill. And I further believe in my heart that there's no gotcha here. If we don't concur and we say these are our values is that there will be no self-dealing. This bill will go into a conference committee and they'll fix that problem. And it'll be right back here next week with the language that Senator Creighton wisely put into that bill. The language that said that no member of the House, no member of the Senate would take advantage of this program. I'll leave you with this. One day, in the next year or so, one of those folks, vast majority of us are too old to have young children, but one of those young parents might make that application. Unbeknownst to the rest of us. They might actually win. They might win their seat at the table. And by that time, members, it's too late. The stain of self-dealing ties on to the members of everybody in this building. So members, respectfully, I ask you not to concur, not because I don't like this bill. We're on the losing side of most things in this building. I ask you not to concur because this would be the right thing to do, to put back our values back into this thing. The value that says that we are not here to self-deal. The value that says that we are here to do for others in Texas and not for ourselves. With that, I would ask Mr. President, I would make a motion not to concur.